Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I know I said I was going to do a 3 to 5 day update on the immediate dentures, but I just wasn't feeling it at the time. So here I am 1 month later, and I um, I figured I can add that stuff in here too. And my speech is a little wonky wonky right now because uh, my top immediate is loose, so learning to talk. um, some of the ups and downs that I went through with having the extractions and um, the the healing time afterwards was so, as I stated before, I have an anxiety disorder. I don't like going to the dentist. Who does? That's weird, right? But um, after getting started with my dentist, he made me feel like super comfortable, and he's wonderful. Um, I had like, so I didn't have the um, gas or IV sedation or definitely not general anesthesia. I just had the injections. So I expressed to him that I was fearful of injection pain, like most people are. Sorry. When when you get dentures, even sometimes a month later, um, you salivate more. So forgive me for that as well. Um, so what he did, well, so I expressed my concerns and fears or phobias with him, and he's been doing this for like 35 years, so it's so weird. He he was going to do an injection, the first one, and he didn't put the topical like benzocaine on, and I was like, whoa, whoa. You're not going to put any topical on? It's like, oh man, you don't need that. I'm like, all right, whatever. Gave me an injection right here on the top. Promise, didn't even feel it. Didn't feel it. Give me one, real quick. Said I'll be back in 5 minutes. We'll do a little more. Did two or three more. Didn't feel it. Came back in 5 minutes. Two or three more. Didn't feel it. By this time, he knew. Um, I guess the area was blanched out enough where he could just go. And I didn't. It didn't hurt. Like it wasn't even a feeling of discomfort. It was quite remarkable. Um, the only discomfort for the injections, and he said it even before he did it, was you know being experienced. He can give pain-free injections up here all day long, but there's not a whole lot you can do about the palate because it's hard and in a really tight place. So just a forewarning. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I'm pretty numb up here um, already. I mean, I was numb from here to here basically, except one tooth in the front. It was infected, and it was a problem tooth. It would not get numb. and I don't want to scare anyone or anything, but in hindsight, like if you have a tooth that will not get numb even after putting 8, 9, 10 injections around that tooth, then why would you want to leave it in? Even if it is a little painful coming out, so what? So what? It's 1 or less minute of pain, of or discomfort, whatever you want to call it. So he gave me the injections in my palate, and I got 13 of those around. He did them really quick, but it wasn't the most comfortable thing. Um, it wasn't like Disney World or anything, but it didn't suck as bad as I thought it would. Um, Interesting point. I had to go, well, okay, so let me just keep going because none of this is scripted, and I'm just telling you, you know, everything, trying to stay in order. Um, so, injections, boom. First, 3 extractions. I'm talking about 3 extractions in less than 1 minute. And these are teeth that are broken off at the gum line. It was that one front right tooth that just, it couldn't really get numb. It was actually broken off or worn down uh, higher or further up than the gum line. So he couldn't get a good purchase on it and kept slipping. On that one, I was a little bit like, come on. Um, but I'm really, really glad I did it because the whole purpose of all of this, for me and a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people, is to improve your overall health. And a temporary or immediate denture is just that. It's temporary. Um, After your extractions, they're gonna probably curette and irrigate. No, unless you need alveoplasty, you're not gonna have sutures or stitches. They're just gonna put them right in, boom, out the door you go. Simple as that. So, did that. They fit great at the time, and the swelling had not really kicked in yet. Um, and I'm a sweller, so they didn't make. Usually they'll make them a little bit larger, but I guess they didn't make them too much larger, um, because I didn't really have a problem with swelling as long as they were in. Now I had to go back the next day and um, for my follow-up appointment to so he could check them out, check out the fit, see if there was anything colliding like the top of the ridge and all that. He wanted to look at the extraction sites and all that, and that was cool. So he actually took them out, looked at everything, cleaned them, made some adjustments, and put them right back in. Okay, out the door you go. He said, with my gum structure and my bone structure, that he wanted me to start sleeping without them on day 3, which I did. And on day 4, they weren't going back in. They were not going back in. Because I had warned them for so long before, going without for a period of time, which 3 days, whatever. I had some sore spots from the extractions and also the immediate, rubbing. Plus, you're not used to anything like rock hard in your mouth. Um, they were not going back in, and I went up there. I called him up, told him, and I went up there, and he made some adjustments here and there and tried to put him back in. It wasn't happening. My a couple spots they were just way too sore. So what did I do? For the next week, I didn't wear them at all. Um, Now, like I said, I'm a pro golfer. I don't have to be out around people all the time, and it doesn't really matter if I did because my teeth were like jacked up to begin with. So who cares, right? But um, I'll tell you what, the how rapidly your gums and bone changes in your mouth. Your mouth heals so fast, and it's almost like, okay, I'm a month into this right now, and I haven't been wearing these because like I keep getting these weird sore spots and sequestras, or like they're little bone splinters that you can pull out. Oh, um, on that, I think I had to make another appointment because I was holding on to a little bit of infection in that problem tooth area because there are no more teeth. But I went back and I had to get um, a, a little bone fragment that was in there. It's like a splinter. Um, your body will naturally like push out a splinter over time, usually, but your mouth definitely will. So I had to go back, and it was super sore because I still had a little bit of infection, like I said, and he, I, I ended up getting like 10 more injections in that one area, um, and it didn't hurt. Like the injections didn't hurt at all. It's like, am I used to this now? Did all of my fear of the dentist go away? Because I've been back a few times since then to be checked out, check fitment. I got, they made them where they protrude a little bit too far, the profile, like this way. Um, and he didn't like that at all. My dentist is not the lab that made the dentures, but they're going to do a remake for a better, not a better fit, but for a better look. Um, as far as the consultation before, well, at least for me, before I had my extractions, I went in for a final consult to pick the shade and pick the shape. And it's funny, I mean, he had this board of teeth, and there's hundreds of teeth. And he said, "Okay, I have my idea of what I would like to see for you. You pick out what you want, the color, opacity, translucent. Um, like maybe in this light they look a little opaque. I don't know, but when you're in the sunlight, they're like real teeth. Light goes through them, you know. But some people get that Hollywood smile, and they're like super white and opaque, and they look good on camera, but they look like crap in person, in my opinion. They just look like big teeth. And I didn't want to have something that looked just jump out fake. So I opted for this shade and shape. Um, the permanents will look a lot better. A lot better. These are just transitional. That's all there is to it. And okay, so I'm sorry, back to my story. So I went in and picked the shade shape because you have to do that, beforehand, so the lab or whomever can make them. So right after the extraction, they're there to put in your mouth. Um, so I did that, went back, got the the teeth pulled, like I was saying, and that went. Besides that one tooth, which wasn't terrible. I mean, I'm sure it could have been worse. Went really well, really, really well. Um, After that, okay, everyone wants to know what life is like after you get immediate dentures, or dentures in general, or extractions even, or whatever. Particularly people with anxiety disorders who do not like to go there. I mean, I didn't at all, but I feel a lot more comfortable now. It's like kind of like a milestone that I have crossed. And I'll tell you what, since I've had extractions, I haven't had toothache. And my entire body feels better because I know my immune system was just always working, always creating inflammation, my joints and such. And I don't have as many headaches. My overall health is better already, so absolutely worth it. One thing I will say, if I had to do it over again, for those of you looking to get immediate dentures, and my dentist even kind of urged this um, as well. If you don't have to be in an office environment, if you're not doing seminars, if you're not publicly speaking, which your speech is going to suck anyway, but um, you know what I mean. In this day and age right now, like a lot of people are working from home. If you can get your extractions and wait, don't get immediate dentures. Just wait for like a month. I know that seems like so long, but it takes you that long to get used to having something like this in your mouth anyway. And then by the time you get used to it, it has to be readjusted, and you have to get used to it again. So what I'm saying is the gentleman who commented on my last video was talking about price, asking about price. Well, every practice is going to vary. Mine happens to be on the lesser expensive end, so I can tell you that my immediate dentures for the top were $840, and for the bottom were $840. So I think with tax and everything, they came out to $1,790 or something like that. And then my extractions for the top, because I did them all at once, were 1,450, like 1,450. And for the bottom, 930, 936, 940, something like that. So I don't know what that is total off the top of my head. You can do the math if you want. And then the permanent dentures are going to be um, about $1,000 per plate. But when we go that permanent route, I'm going to have at least, because remember in the first video we talked about the oral surgery that I had on the bottom. I'm going to do at least 2 implants. Um, so that'll hike the price up a little bit, well, or maybe a lot of bit. I don't know, but I don't want that bottom denture floating around my whole life. That's just gonna piss me off. So let's see what else after surgery, because it's surgery. After you get these things in your mouth, what can you do? Here's what you can do. You're gonna bleed for like you're gonna bleed a good bit for like 4 or 5 hours. And that's what I see across the board normal. And that's what happened with me as well. I know everyone's individual, whatever, but I'm just saying in general. Um, do you have pain afterwards? Some people might. Some people may have an extremely low tolerance for pain. Um, and then maybe you won't know until you do it. For me, I was prescribed narcotic pain medication, um, antibiotics, and that's it. I took Advil, and I didn't need anything else. And I didn't have per se pain. I had discomfort due to swelling. So Advil was like my best friend to reduce the swelling. And when I reduced that swelling, there was no discomfort. I mean, honestly, it was not bad at all. So don't fear the after effects of all this. I mean, the worst thing is like talking. I mean, really, because it can get frustrating because you can't talk. I mean, your tongue moves throughout your mouth and articulates and actuates the sounds that come out of your mouth. So now you have more material in there, and your tongue is like, oh, this is a foreign land, and I don't know how to act. So um, I think I would be a lot better with speech had I been wearing these, the whole time. But I just, for me personally, it hurt, the sore spots. And honestly, that was probably the worst thing. So, what about eating? Um, a lot of people on YouTube say, for the first week, you're gonna live on Ensure, in like the liquid drinks. That that's that's bull. You don't have to do that. I couldn't do that, and I wasn't going to. So you have to be a little innovative. So my wife and I, what we do is they make those like Bob Evans mashed potato things that you just microwave. And uh, here's what I did. I take a third of that mashed potatoes, put it in a bowl, right? Well, first of all, I'm sorry. First of all, go to the grocery store and pick out the right meat. And we found the right meat to be top sirloin filet. It's not filet mignon, it's just top sirloin filet. And you um, cut that into little squares, right? And we do 4 pounds at a time. And we cook it in a pressure cooker. In an hour and a half, it's done. Take it out, drain it, let it cool off, then put it in like a 1 gallon Ziploc freezer bag, put it in your refrigerator, and you have 5 days of food. Because you just take the amount of mashed potatoes that you want, put them in a bowl, heat them up, stir them, heat them up, take meat from that bag, put it on flat on like a paper plate or whatever, and heat it up for like 15 seconds. It comes apart easier like that. You can make, you know, that beef jerky, like dust they sell in like the cans that look like dip cans. You can make your meat look like that. Put it in the mashed potatoes, stir it up, and eat it. It's like a full, real meal, you know? Um, and that's what I've been doing. It works out well, and it's very convenient, and it lasts long. Anything extra, we'll say I'll take like 2 pounds or a pound of that and um, what do you call it? Vacuum seal it and freeze it. And by the time you're done with the what you have in the refrigerator, you just cut that open, put it in a Ziploc bag, and it's like boom, brand new, like you just cooked it. Some other things you can do. Let's get innovative. Now, there are a lot of things you could do with chicken, I'm sure. Chicken. Um, but I, unfortunately, am allergic to all poultry, chicken, turkey, all that. I haven't been able to eat that since birth. I know it sucks. Trust me, I know. So, if you like tuna, get macaroni and cheese, cook it, put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in the refrigerator. Cans of tuna, take like half a can of tuna or whatever, and you know how crumbly it is? Mix it with this and eat it. You can mash this in your mouth. You're not going to chew anything for a while. I mean, some people do it faster than others, but it's not going to happen because it's not so much the discomfort, it's all this is new and you don't even know where it's at. You can take a drink of something and just crash into your teeth. And because you don't, your spatial awareness of where everything's at in the beginning, you don't know. So that's why it's hard. That's why you can't really chew because you know your incisors cut and then your molars and premolars grind and that ain't happening. Forget about it. So you need things that you can mash up, at least, you know, for the first couple of weeks. It, that's been my experience. So, like I said, I mean, you can put that same meat in macaroni and cheese. You can put tuna in it. I'm sure you could put chicken in it. I wish I could, but I can't. Another thing that's good for vitamins and minerals that doesn't cost a lot that and doesn't taste like metal, like or that metallic taste like Ensure or even Orgain, the more expensive stuff. Just carnation instant breakfast. Just if you're not lactose intolerant, I throw this pack in with like 8 or 10 ounces of whole milk and it gives you, vitamins and minerals. This is provided you're not diabetic or anything like that. Um, if you are, I'm sure there are things made for that. Um, things that will help you. So basically, in a nutshell, eat things that you can kind of mush up and swallow. Like even rice, you can. I know my wife made like beef tips and rice. You make beef tips in a pressure cooker. That stuff just falls apart. So you can just take a fork, and mush it up, put it in your mouth, and swallow it. You don't even have to chew it. I mean, because you're not going to chew anything anyway. But you're not, my point is, you're not limited to a liquid diet. I would be super crabby if I had to be on a liquid diet for a couple of weeks. Trust me, that would not work out. Some things that will help along the way, the Orajel mouth sores. Um, it keeps your mouth clean, especially in those, that first week or so um, after extractions. And what this stuff does, it's weird. It's kind of like effervescent, or it's like mixing vinegar and baking soda in your mouth. It foams up, and I didn't expect it the first time, but now I'm used to it. So it definitely helps. It definitely keeps your mouth clean. That's for sure. And it doesn't have that burn or so much of that burn of like Listerine or something so alcohol based. Um, that's all good and well. Your best friend besides Advil and a positive attitude is salt. Warm salt water rinses regularly. I use kosher salt because kosher salt does not have, or at least this one doesn't have iodine in it. And I just don't like the taste of iodized salt. So I use kosher salt. Um, when you put that in your mouth, it's like better than the mouth sores Orajel stuff, really. Like for like inflammation and discomfort. So good. So good. Um, when your gums and bones starts to resorb or shrink, um, if it's not quite time yet for a soft reline, which I'm going to do pretty soon here, but it's always safe to use something like this. This is what I'm using now. Otherwise, these would literally just fall out of my mouth. They're that loose right now. But the Cbon um, little wafer things, they just go in, you wet them, put it in your mouth, it's done. And when you're done with them, it's not like scraping that goo crap out of your mouth. It all stays on the denture, and you just peel it off, put it in your soak. We'll clean them, put it in your soak, and I use the stain away, uh, which is awesome. It keeps your dentures looking like brand new. But all in all, am I glad I did this? Absolutely. I couldn't even imagine at this point. And as funny as I went through this for over a decade, where I needed to get something you know drastic done. Um, and it's only been a month, and I feel so dumb for waiting so long. You don't have to do that. If you're afraid, it's totally natural. But let me tell you, you're gonna overshoot your fears by a mile. it it's so not bad at all. If you can just keep a positive attitude um, while getting it done and afterwards, because well, there are ups and downs, but I mean there are ups and downs with everything. So and now you kind of know what to expect, at least what I've experienced. Um, and man, I wish I would have gotten this done a long time ago, because I would already be in permanence right now, and my smile would be bling blinging, and more importantly, my health would be awesome like it is now. It's much better, and the fitment would be so much better. And you get a little frustration from that ill fitment, but just keep in mind that they are immediate and temporaries, and which is why I said if I had to do it all over again, I would not have gotten immediate dentures. I would have waited a month to 6 weeks, and then I would have gotten the transitional permanence. And that's just my take on that. Obviously, do what you want to do. See, a lot of people do this for like vanity. Their teeth are healthy and salvageable, but they just don't like the way they look. So they get them ripped out of their head and get dentures. And then they want to go on YouTube and talk about, yeah, look at my smile, it's so awesome. Yeah. Oh my God, it's great. No, that's not why I did this. I did this for my health. I mean, it's cool to have like perfectly straight teeth. I mean, that never hurt anyone, but that's not why I did this. Um, and if you're wanting to go get your salvageable teeth ripped out and get dentures, then I'm probably not talking to you right now anyway. But anyway, so that's my 1 month update. I will get back after I get my soft reline and these things fit better. That would be awesome. And I appreciate it, guys. And like I said, if you need this done, get this done. If you can afford it right now, do it right now, because there's no time like the present when it comes to this. There's no price you can put on your health. And I know that's easier said than done if you don't have the money, but know what you have to do, set a goal and start saving that money, because I mean even if you have to get one extraction at a time, which would be actually awesome as long as you didn't have a mouthful of bad. One extraction at a time. By the time that's healed, maybe you get another one, healed, another one, whatever. And by the time you're done, they're putting permanence in your mouth almost, because they heal as you go. So you can skip the whole frustration of the temporaries. But I appreciate your time, and I look forward to giving you guys my next update when I get the soft reline. Hopefully, I'll be talking better, and you'll be able to understand me better. So until then, God bless.